This is now our Hawaii News Now weather team has declared today a first alert weather day. Red flag warning is currently in effect for leeward areas of all islands until tomorrow evening. At this time, Honolulu city officials are holding a news conference on safety tips and potential evacuation protocols. Let's listen in.
Means is that wildfires can be prevented. So we really would like the community support in ensuring that that you're really careful with the flames that you're using. And that you're properly disposing of your cigarette butts when you're working around flames, campfires, and that sort of thing. Properly maintain those fires, properly protect the area around that. One thing that we want to make sure that you're aware of is that there is a scheduled siren test for tomorrow at 11:45. That siren test is regularly scheduled. It will go on as normal, but if you hear the sirens at any other time, then that is the time to get more information. Our sirens are not solely for tsunami. Our sirens are not solely for evacuation. The outdoor warning system is to really get your attention for you to get more information. And more information can be obtained at H&L Alerts, our program for communicating with you. So hnlalert.gov is where you can sign up to get more information. That is the official place that we will publish information and also send that information via text to your cell phone. So again, subscribe at hnlalert.gov. We'd also like to take this time to make sure that everyone is prepared. Make sure that you have your evacuation kits, your go kits ready, that you know your evacuation routes, and that you have a plan in place to evacuate should a fire break out in your particular neighborhood. Oahu is very unique insofar as when fires start, they happen right in close to our buildings and our structures. That gives us very little time to initiate evacuation warnings and to get people out. So staying vigilant is a key component in our preparedness posture. And with that, I'd like to turn this over to the Fire Chief. Fire Chief Howell, thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Kalani Howell, Fire Chief of the Honolulu Fire Department. Again, like the Rector said, we have environmental conditions that make our community susceptible to fire risk, and we have a lot of those wildland-urban interface areas across our entire island, in the east side, west side, and central parts of the island. So what we're doing on our part is we're upstaffing. We normally have 5 tankers in service every day. We're placing 2 more tankers in service. We're also working with our state partners. State Crash at the airports are also making their assets available if we need them. Also with state DOT, they're making some tankers available, 6,000 and 3,000 gallon tankers available. And also with our federal partners, with Hawaii National Guard, there are some air assets that we can spool up in case we need them. But like Director Collins said, it takes all of us to keep our community safe. You know, there's things that you can do, keep have your home, create a defensible space around your home. Clean up clutter, keep your dry vegetation around your homes. If you can kind of minimize those things, that's what you could do. And also to prepare yourself, again, being aware, staying on with Honolulu H&L Alerts, and also on our website, Honolulu Fire Department website, we have some information that you can follow, some Ready, Set, Go packets that was created by the HWMO. With that, I'll pass it off to Major Okamoto.
Aloha, everybody. My name is Paul Okamoto. I'm a major with the Honolulu Police Department. In case of an emergency, the Honolulu Police Department will primarily be concerned with the preservation of safety and security in our communities. We will assist in the orderly and safe evacuation from any of the affected areas. We ask that everyone remain patient and calm if there is an emergency, and to always follow the directions of our law enforcement personnel. We ask that you continue to trust in our officers, as they may have more timely information regarding the incident that you may not have. Please treat each other with aloha and courtesy. We all live on this island together, and if something happens, we're all in this together. So your patience, your calm, your cooperation, and your aloha will go a long way in making things better for all of us. And we'll continue to monitor the conditions and the situation, and we'll adjust to our staffing in preparation with an appropriate response. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Hello. Jeff Zuckernick, Acting EMS Chief, Honolulu Emergency Medical Services. We'd like to share with you that EMS is prepared. We're ready. We've been preparing for this since Lahaina. We've stood up some of our assets, including our mobile command vehicle and our multi-patient patient bus that we can deploy as needed. But just rest assured that we will continue doing what we do, and that's taking care of the sick and injured within Honolulu. We're just asking the public to be prepared, especially those people who are medically fragile, those people who are less mobile or immobile. Right? Have your medications ready. Have your medical records, your medical equipment ready to go on a moment's notice. But we're asking the public to please not call 911 if it's for the sole purpose of a medical evacuation. Therefore, heed our warnings. Act sooner rather than later. Be safe, be informed, be prepared, and thank you very much. Director Morton.
Aloha, I'm Roger Morton, Director of Transportation Services. First, the mode that we're in right now is in a monitoring mode. I'd like to speak a little bit about the assets that we have that we can bring. First and foremost, we have an interagency joint traffic management center. And some of you that haven't seen that center, that's an interagency center. That's where 911 is, that's where police dispatch, fire dispatch, ocean safety, all in one facility there. We have an extensive network of traffic cams all over the island. And our traffic signals are able to be adjusted. 85% of our traffic signals are hooked up so that we can adjust them in real time. We're also involved in preparing for any evacuation that could be required. Our people are starting to do pre-planning that, make sure that if we are going to go into evacuation mode, that we have enough equipment and operators available so we can do that. Again, at this point, we are in a monitoring mode, and that's what we've trained some of our cameras to help out our other first responders. If you saw the center, it's quite a beehive of activity right now. Thank you.
Forgot to tell you that my name's Dr. Randall Collins. I'm the Director of Emergency Management. And we're obviously very interested in the safety of the community. We brought all the responding agencies here to answer your questions. So I thank the team for their brief statements, and now we'll take any questions you might have.
So I have one for Roger. We spoke yesterday, but in light of Lahaina's anniversary coming up, and then we saw the tsunami warning, and we saw the congestion and the traffic. Like, how are we going to kind of prevent that?
Well, we're gonna. I think that the situations are a little different. Yesterday was an island-wide emergency, impacting our densest parts of our island, and that's really where we had our major issues. Were in our densest part. Fires. I don't want to minimize the impact of fires, but they are more localized than an island-wide emergency, and I think that in parts of the island. We'll look at our access routes. We'll be monitoring that. As you know, on the west side, we do have emergency access routes that at least some. So all of those things, we're going to be focusing on just trying to make sure that traffic, and we work together as a team between the city and the Hawaii Department of Transportation.
I have a question for HFD, Chief. You did mention about the additional assets, the tankers that you're getting, but where are we placing them, or do you have strategic points in more vulnerable areas of the island?
Well, we have two of our tankers that will be placed more on the west side of the island. So that's where the water supply issues, we have more water supply issues on the west and central side. So in Kapolei area.
So that's the area that's more vulnerable at this point? Or
Our west and central areas as well. We have areas, communities on the east side where the vegetation is below the community, so that's the areas of high risk as well. But like I said, water supply is not much of an issue as it is on the west or central side of the island.
and actions being taken now? I guess maybe this is a general city question. Are there any actions being taken now to mitigate vegetation or any sort of other risk at this point?
I think in general, post Lahaina is something that is a concern across the whole island. We have a lot of wildland urban interfaces, and I know that the DOT has been very aggressive in clearing out areas, but again, the vegetation comes back, and that's something that we have to continue to work on and plan and how we're going to better manage those wildland urban interface areas across the island.
Are there specific hotspots? I'm not sure who can answer this, but are there specific hotspots that you are monitoring closely and that people should be more aware of?
I think we just heightened across the entire island. Like I said, we have high-risk areas across the entire island, west, central, and the east side as well. So we have to be prepared for anything.
I know there was some technology that allowed, I can't remember now what it's called, but there were cameras that you were using to monitor, and then it would alert.
Correct. It's called Alert West. We have that Alert West system. It's cameras across the island that they pick up any type of smoke or heat that'll come up, and it pans onto the area, so we can utilize that. And it's in conjunction with HECO, so we all are utilizing the same system to help us pinpoint and identify those fire concerns when they do come up.
I would like to emphasize, though, while we are using the technology as best we can to get as much a jump on different emergencies as they arise, in this particular hazard, though, we do depend on the community. When you see smoke, when you see flames, please, call 911 immediately and let us know of that particular hazard.
Are there any restrictions, temporary restrictions in terms of?
All right, you've been listening to a news conference with city officials and leaders within Honolulu's emergency response and transportation departments, all of them sending a message of preparedness to coincide with the red flag warning currently in effect for all islands. The high winds are raising the risk of and potential of wildfire danger. The message: have your emergency plans in place, know your routes, have supplies, and subscribe to alerts at hnlalert.gov. We'll have much more on the remarks online and on air at hawaiinewsnow.com. Now, in the meantime, let's send it over to Billy V with more on the forecast.
Thank you very much. 12:13. Thank you very much, Mark. 12:13 right now on a Thursday. Let's go ahead and first remind you, First Alert Weather Day, a red flag warning. That's going to be in effect from now until 6 p.m. tomorrow. That's going to be for all the areas that are highlighted in red. The winds are 20 to 30 miles per hour with some locally higher gusts. So once again, we've got those conditions now. We also have high surf advisory. We've got a south swell that will be peaking. We've also got a wind advisory for Maui County and Hawaii Island, so that's not helping red flag conditions. And one more item for you: mostly dry through Sunday is the forecast, with some showers expected next week. So that's far off in the forecast right now. Once again, we are concentrating on the fact there is a red flag warning in effect for all islands, portions of all islands. We're going to deep dive into that. We'll tell you the reasons why and what we're looking at, and your 7-day forecast. We'll have that for you coming up in a couple of minutes. Let's get you back over to Mark.
Thank you so much, Billy. Now, with the warning in effect, Hawaiian Electric is keeping a close eye on the conditions and has issued a public safety power shutoff watch. That means if the forecast intensifies, the utility may proactively shut down power in areas with high exposure to wildfire risk. Customers are urged to review their emergency plans and prepare for the possibility of prolonged outages. HECO also says that the high winds could lead to outages that aren't related to the PSPS program. Meantime, parts of the state are either resuming normal operations or still cleaning up after Tuesday's tsunami warning. All state parks and small boat harbors have now reopened. Emergency shelters have closed and airports are in full operation. Anyone who did experience damage should take photos to document it before starting cleanup and repairs. Now, Hilo residents saw some unusual currents after Tuesday's scare. That night at 8:23, the Hilo tide gauge showed a 4.9-foot tsunami wave. And take a look at this security camera video from the SCP Hilo Hotel. It took just 30 seconds for the water to fill the entire Port Cochere fronting the ocean at Ice Pond on Banyan Drive.
The second wave, there was a huge wave that came in, and it really did come right into our park share, right into our driveway, and the water got pretty high where it did enter about 10 of our rooms.
So 2 minutes ago, it was just receding out, and now it's coming back in. Oh, look at the height. Look, it's covering all the rocks.
Families gathered at Ice Pond to watch the unusual occurrence while the advisory was still up. Staff at the hotel evacuated guests Tuesday to shelters and brought them back after giving the all clear, and they spent the day removing carpet, mud, and water. And on Maui, MFD took this video showing a 15-foot water drop at Kahului Harbor. Though no damage or injuries were reported, 6 shelters were opened, the busiest, Lahaina Luna High School, with about 4,000 people. Despite the congestion on the roads, no traffic accidents were reported, and what's known as Oprah's Road was open to help South Maui residents evacuate.
We were allowed access, and so cars coming out of the South Maui, Makena, Wailea, Kihei area who needed to get up country could go through that path, and that saves a lot of time.
The only shelter that stayed open overnight Tuesday into Wednesday was the Hannibal Tavares Community Center in Pukalani, with cots for tourists whose flights were canceled. Elected officials from Waikiki and Kaka'ako say the traffic gridlock caused by the tsunami threat was dangerous and should have been prevented with better planning. The congestion was particularly bad in urban areas and the potential inundation zones where people were advised to evacuate. Some were caught in traffic for hours, especially in areas of Waikiki, Kaka'ako, and near Ala Moana Center. One lawmaker tells us one of her constituents took things into her own hands.
A civilian friend of yours got out of her car to direct traffic?
Yes, yes. So where were the police? So it was really a bad situation on the ground. And the lesson learned there is we've got to have a plan for exiting if it's an emergency, especially along the coastline.
It was a lot of frustration over the traffic and the gridlock. Many of them ultimately decided just to stay in their condominiums and go to a higher floor.
The city says it is reconsidering some of its warning messaging to prevent people from hitting the roads who don't need to. Well, after all those alarms we've been hearing, don't be worried if you hear sirens go off tomorrow. It is the regularly scheduled monthly test of Hawaii's outdoor emergency alert system. The siren will sound as usual tomorrow at 11:45 a.m. Maui residents who lost their homes in the wildfires are learning how to get part of almost $1 billion in federal aid to rebuild. But as Daryl Huff reports, the money will come with a catch for homeowners.
The $1.6 billion was approved by Congress 19 months ago, and it was delayed getting here. But now Maui County wants to spend it as fast as it can.
All the effort, all the energy, all the planning has all been with that one goal in mind. It's getting the people of Lahaina, from Lahaina, back to Lahaina.
Many Lahaina families are short of the money they need to rebuild, with construction costs rising and insurance often inadequate. So with $90 million in federal community development funds, the county is rolling out 3 housing programs for lower and moderate income first-time buyers, for those who are almost ready to rebuild, and reimbursement for those who have already rebuilt at huge expense.
It doesn't really seem or feel fair that somebody took on an extraordinary amount of debt just to get back home, and then all of a sudden your neighbor who's in the same financial situation just gets a house.
But the other goal is to keep housing affordable, so there will be strings attached.
If you just dump a bunch of money into a bunch of houses, that may build you some houses, but that doesn't ensure that the people that live in those houses are local people. You can end up creating an environment that makes it really easy to flip homes and just run away with the money.
Putting deed restrictions that regulate resales and profit is part of a model developed by the Lahaina Community Land Trust, formed right after the fire to prevent speculation and gentrification.
Without any guardrails on how that funding is used, folks could get the funding, get a brand new, shiny, fancy new house, and if there's no protections put on that, what's to stop them from flipping that house in 5 years for $2 million? Who nobody in our community can pretty much afford that.
County officials agree, so grants through the county will include affordability restrictions from 20 to 99 years and will be tailored to each family.
So we're working through all this different lending solutions and understanding in each individual scenario.
For a lot of folks that see this as a way to not only stay for their generation in Lahaina, but have assurances that there will be affordable homeownership opportunities in the future for Lahaina.
The first public meeting for the program is this evening, but for those who miss it, there is an online meeting Friday. The details are on our website. Reporting from Maui, Daryl Huff, Hawaii News Now.
A controversial project on Oahu's North Shore faced more opposition at a meeting last night, including from elected officials who are vowing to fight it. Ben Gutierrez has the story.
Community members met to raise their concerns over Kaukonohua Ranch's plans for a gondola ride on Mount Ka'ala. This time, they're seeking support from 4 different neighborhood boards from the area.
Neighborhood boards from the North Shore, Wahioa, Mililani Moka, and Mililani were asked to consider a resolution against the project.
Chairs, vice chairs, neighborhood board members. We ask that the boards approve the resolution requesting DPP to deny the modification application and revoke the conditional use permit minor.
Kaukonohua Ranch's conditional use permit was approved in 2019. The most controversial part would allow an aerial tramway or gondola that the ranch says will be used to move workers, staff, equipment, and guests to the upper valley areas of the ranch along Mount Ka'ala. State Representative Sean Quinlan is outraged over the project.
It's the disrespect to Mount Ka'ala. It's the disrespect to our shared community. It is the disrespect to our host culture. It is the sheer stupidity of what they're proposing that angers me.
I have only met one person that thinks it's a good idea.
North Shore Neighborhood Board Chair Kathleen Pahinui is also strongly opposed.
Can't even begin to imagine. And in our Sustainable Community Plan, it is considered part of the view plane. So anything that gets built on there has to be considered as part, you have to think of it in part of the development plan.
Kaukonohua Ranch says it has significantly reduced the scale of the project. For example, it says it has lowered the top station of the gondola 500 feet to an elevation of 1,250 feet. It also says the project would impact less than 2 acres of the 2,400 acres of ranch land. But ranch officials weren't at the standing room only meeting.
The developer has never come out to the community to present their project. After 7 years of developing this thing, after getting an approval 6 years ago and applying for modifications now, they still say they're not ready.
In a statement, General Manager Mark Skip Taylor says he believes the community will appreciate having access to the ranchlands for hiking, ziplining, and enjoying the natural surroundings. And the project will also create 200 much-needed jobs for the area. The North Shore Neighborhood Board voted unanimously for the resolution. The 3 other boards will take it up at later meetings. In Wahioa, Ben Gutierrez, Hawaii News Now.
First Alert Weather with Billy V.
Welcome back. Before we go, let's tell you that there's a high surf advisory in effect. There's a wind advisory in effect for some areas of the state, and red flag warning. That's going to be up until 6 p.m. tomorrow night for all the areas shaded in red. Because of the environmental concerns, make sure you take the precautions, make sure you are prepared, and maka'ala. Real quickly here, let's give you the 7-day forecast and show you what we've got. Today and tomorrow are going to be highlighted in red. That's because of those red flag conditions. Saturday and Sunday, not too bad. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, looks like we're going to get some moisture from one of the tropical cyclones that are in the Pacific. We have 2 of them. This one is Iona. That's going to travel off to the west, and that's going to move out of the way. But this is one over here. Once again, that's Tropical Storm Gil. It will, in the next couple of days, become a hurricane. As it crosses into the Central Pacific, a remnant low, and it may bring some moisture to the Hawaiian Islands. So that's going to be kind of what we're looking forward to as far as your weather is concerned. That's coming up for the next 7 days. Once again, we're not going to get this moisture until next week, the middle of next week. As always, get the latest on air, online, on your mobile device, and at hawaiinewsnow.com. Once again, red flag conditions, red flag warning for the state of Hawaii is in effect till tomorrow night.